So we're going to do a video on doing sunken cargo. So if you've been like sailing around, you would have probably seen these broken lifeboats out in the world. They come up on radar and you'll see them all over the place. So these are indicators where you'll find sunken ships underneath, which can be raised, and you can get a bunch of ancient cargo from them and turn them in. You can make a bit of gold. So what you'll need is you'll need a sub. At the end of the video, we'll show all the things you need to make for them. On your sub, you'll need a sonar equipped. So we've got an air cannon here. I've got an oxygen tank. You don't need one of those. You need this sonar here. So you need the sonar to find the ship. The air cannon helps save some labor. You uncover you have to uncover the ship, and that'll save you some labor. You can do it without it, but it's useful. You'll need a merchant ship for moving the packs. You'll need some recovery pouches. You'll need 10 of these per ship. And things that'll be helpful are having an alt or a friend to go on radar on your boat, and someone maybe who can help you out if you get into trouble. So we're gonna talk about the spawns and how they work. So I'll bring up a picture. Let's see, scene. Okay, so this is kind of roughly where a bunch of the spawns are. This isn't exactly right. Some of these might be a bit wrong, and there might be some spawns that aren't on here. This spawn here might not be right. I'm not too sure on that. But this is just like a rough guess of where I knew a bunch of them were. So these will spawn every 6 hours. So, well, they despawn and respawn. If no one does that, they'll all despawn. So how it works is, if you find a broken lifeboat, there's a timer here. So after 2 hours and 40 minutes, this will despawn, and this will have a shared time with all the other lifeboats out in the sea. And so they'll all despawn at the same time, and they'll stay despawned, and when they're despawned, it means the ship underneath will also be despawned, and then they'll all respawn again an hour after this despawn time. So if you make a note of when these despawn, add an hour, and that'll be the respawn time for every hour. For every time they'll respawn at the same time every day. So say, for example, say it respawns. Sorry, say this despawns at midday, and then it'll respawn at 1 p.m. and then the next respawn will be at 7 p.m. and then the next respawn will be at 1 a.m. and then 7 in the morning. So you can know when they'll respawn every day. So if you're doing these like competitively and you're trying to get them as soon as they respawn, that's how you get them straight away. So some other things to note is, one, if you when you get under the water, there's like this there's a particle effect kind of, or there's like an effect that kind of covers your screen with like wavy water that's really irritating. There's a way to turn that off, and all you do is you go to settings, quality, and you go all the way down the bottom. You turn water quality to 0, water reflections off, and then you turn shaders to 0. That's what I've done to get it turned off. There is, maybe you don't have to turn shaders all the way off. I'm not sure that, but that's what seemed to work for me. And then you have to quit the game and log back in. So doing the actual sunkens, so you can destroy the lifeboats if you want. If you do, you'll want to just mark where they were. So if you are hunting around underneath the water looking for the shipwreck to raise, if you have trouble finding, you're going to want a reference point, so you just mark it where it is. often there'll be other lifeboats around. So at each spawn, it can spawn up to 3 lifeboats. I think sometimes they can spawn 0 as well. I'm not 100% on that, but that might be the case. And so what you often do is you'll have like a few boats around, so you'll use the sword marker to mark the other boats, and then there's this marker here, and you can use your draw marker as a 4th marker. So you can do that just to mark out where all the lifeboats are, so you've got them all marked before you're doing them. So say if you were to do, say if there isn't ones here, but say if this was, it spawned 3 lifeboats nearby, you'd be on radar and you'd mark them all, and then you'd do one, and then you'd come back and do the other 2, and you'd know exactly where they were. Now, destroying the lifeboats. So yeah, so you can destroy these by ramming them with a boat. You can't kill them with a cannon. You can so you just run them over with a boat, and they'll eventually die. You can leave them if you want. It's entirely up to you. If you're doing them with other, like if you're doing them and there's another group out there doing them, you can destroy the ones, say you could destroy these 3, like all of these lifeboats, and you could like leave this spawn and you can go do a different spawn, and as long as you've got them marked and you know where they are, you can go back and you can do the sunken, you can raise the sunken ship later on. So someone coming past looking for these, they won't see the lifeboat and they'll just assume that there's none there. The other thing you could do is, if you were, say you're doing this one, so you're doing this one first, you could leave that up, so someone coming through doing them, they'll come along and they'll like look around underneath looking for the shipwreck, and you'll have already done it, and so they'll be wasting time, so you can be out doing more. That's if it's like competitive. It's usually just like that on a fresh start server. Like for the older servers, you can do these. It's not really contested, and you can just, yeah, it's pretty quiet out on the seas, unless you're in the way of a trade route. So first, to start out, you're gonna grab a breathing device off a clipper. You can put these on your merch or your or a galley. If you're with a group, you just despawn your clipper and then respawn it, and then there'll be another one there they can grab. I'm going to dive down, we're going to look for these bubbles, and I think I saw them here. Okay, so you can see the little like glistening little bubbles. So what you do is you'll get out your sub, you'll equip your sonar, and then you scan for ships, this one here. And then this will reveal the sunken ship. And so you'll go and you'll put your air cannon on. And then you'll just blast it with the air cannon. And it'll knock you off your sub. Okay, now it's uncovered. So this is where you're gonna put your recovery pouches. So you're gonna use 10 on here. You need to kind of get around to here. So spend 20 labor to install a recovery pouch. Okay, so now this is where you can cut the rope. So when you do this, there'll be a message that'll appear, and this will show in the whole area. So we're in Sunspec C right now, so this anyone on Freedage or in this zone will see the message. If you're in the Arcadian Sea, it'll pop up, so anyone in the area will see. So you just want to just be aware that people will know that you're doing them once you do this. Again, for a fresh start server, these will be more contested, but for like your older servers, it's not really a big deal. Now you can start opening these. So there's shiny ones and then there's normal ones. The normal ones cost 200 labor. Oh, we don't want to grab that. So while this slowly floats to the surface, we just go and smash all these. So yeah, 200 labor for the normals and then 150 labor for the shinies. Now the shinies give a slightly better pack, or they have a chance to. There's different grades of packs. Now this is where you could have a buddy summon their boat ready. If you summon your boat a little bit away and you drive it in, that's kind of the best way. So here, the shinies also, they cost, you need so for the shinies you need 1000k EXP. So you won't be able to open these until later, but don't stress about it. You just leave these on here if you can't do them. Okay. So another trick you can do is, say we're traveling that way, so we're going to summon our boat in the right direction for the way we're going. And you can bump this boat just into the way that, so it's so you're facing the way you want to go. And something a bit like that. So when you're unloading, you want to unload mostly from the water. So when you grab a pack here, this is from a shiny, you can unload quite quickly just going back, swimming back and forth. So you want to try and unload as many as you can while you're doing, yeah. You want to do as many as you can while you're in the water. So there's different grades of pack as well. So here you can see there's the basic grade. They all give you 16 gold. For the green ones give 20 gold each, and then the blues, they give 25 gold. Yep, okay, cool. So that's all of them. So now, this cargo ship here, so this is going to be here for an hour. So if you leave it here, people are going to know that these have been done. So again, like there's other people out here and you're planning on doing more. It's a good idea to blow these up after you unload all the packs. So if you hear this will come up on the radar and it'll say salvaged ancient cargo ship, small warship, and it'll have the owner and it'll have your name on it. So if you leave it there, people will know who's doing them. So yeah, it's a good idea just to blow this up. You don't have to if you don't want, but they will be there for an hour. Whereas you blow it up, it'll be gone. It'll die and it'll despawn quite quickly. Yeah, okay, so turning in packs. So these don't cost any labor to turn them in. So all the labor is up front. It's in grabbing them out and or breaking open the packs. It doesn't cost anything to grab them out. So all the labor is in raising the ship and breaking open the packs. So if you are, we need to go here. So once you've got the packs, you can turn them in at Diamond Shores. So either side, near the Ezzy's thing, it'll be here or here. If the relic trader, I mean, if the bases aren't built and there's no cannons on these, you can turn them in at either side. It doesn't matter. So a good Diamond Shores is pretty safe. It's safe when it's in peace. If it's at war, you can run into a bit of trouble. You can also turn them in on your mainland, so 2 crowns. You can turn them in just here, so you can park your boat just on the edge here, and there's a little ladder, and you go and turn them all in, turn all your packs in. And then in Solace, there's just at the end of the pier where the Ezzy's thing is, it's just there as well. You can also turn in at Grailgate. There's it's just here near the Ezzy's thing. There are some pirate NPCs, and they're not the ones that insta kill you. You can kill them fairly easily. They just throw daggers at you and they insta respawn. They're a little bit annoying, but if you sail in, you can harpoon your boat up to the relic trader, and it'll get destroyed on the thing, and then you can just turn in the packs really easily. If you're a pirate, it doesn't get destroyed because it's under the protection of the Ezzies. For freeties, all we do is we just dive in, we just crash our boat, and then pull out our wagon. See, our boat's just beached. We just let that go. So if we were with a party, they'd pull out their wagon. Someone would go and scout the island. Okay. We'll pull out our wagon. Don't have enough sand to repair my boat just yet, but that's fine. If you can't reach the packs and they're too high, you just stand on your wagon and you grab them that way. And you want to like right click them in instead of walking to your wagon, trying to wait for this to come up. You just right click in the trade pack thing. Okay, and then we just drive in. So if you crash at this beach, you have a Nui here that's that you can kind of park at if there's trouble, or if you crash on the North Beach, same again. You can park your wagon there, and you can just go AFK and wait, and hopefully wait them out. Yeah. So here's your relic merchant here. We got a quest to turn in as well. So what you do is you just drive through the NPC. You have your little back step here if you've got the red wagon freighter or whatever it's called. Turn that in. So you just turn in your packs, and when you're standing on the back here, you can grab out all your packs without having to move. Done. Okay. Cool. So that's how you do sunken cargoes. Yeah. So hopefully that was helpful for somebody who's curious about how all these work. Yeah. Okay. So we'll get our parts for our sub here. We just need to turn our royal jelly into a wax nugget. So here, craft that. Now, I think it's carpentry. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so 600 labor. So this is would be 1,000 labor usually. And these are all the parts here. You've got the design, 250 gilder, 200 lavender, a high-powered engine. So to get this, you'll just run an alt through the through the Blue Salt Bond quest up to Carcassi, and you'll stop your Blue Salt Bond quest there. You get the high power engine, and then just mail that to your main. You've got a buoyancy controller, so this involves precision toolbox, which is a diamond, which can be hard to get on a new server. And it's also 2k proficiency, so you might have to level up your Dawn's Drop gloves to get the machining to be able to craft one of these, or you can put it on the workshop board. What's it called? The crafting board, and try and get someone to craft it for you. And then you've got Nui lumber, so this is just 10 fine lumber for each one, and then some mysterious garden powder of viscous glossy oil. And then you've got the wax nugget, and this is the hardest one to get, the royal jelly. So this is, you've just got to do beehives and get lucky and get 2 of these. So we'll craft this up. Okay, so here it is here. Okay, so one of the things you're going to need for doing sunken ships is these recovery pouches. So they just cost some leather and recovery pouch kit. You get these from the general merchant. They're 10 silver each. So you need to craft a whole bunch of these. You need 10 per ship. And then if you want extras, if you're doing, there's like sunken treasure chests on the floor of the ocean, you'll need a few extras for that. So we're going to craft like maybe 50, maybe if I get bored, we'll just do 25. So we've got our parts for our submarine parts. So you've got your Sony here. So I think we need that for finding the actual shipwreck underneath the ocean. And then we've got this oxygen tank, so that'll just let us breathe underwater instead of using Dahuda's bubbles, which is good. So we'll go and we'll just craft one of these. Now we've already got an air cannon done, so we don't have to worry about that. And you can also craft these tail fins, and this will speed up your movement speed too. But we're not going to worry about that. The other thing we're going to do too is grab out our swim fins.